managed to miserably fail and then wildly succeed this week with stocks. Welcome back, Confused Zoomers. This week we're going to be reviewing our first week's predictions. We're also going to be taking a look at what new things to buy and invest and review what went right, what went wrong. Did we win? Did we beat the bonds? Spoiler, a mix of both. First, questions.
Really this is kind of based off of how much you like your grandparents. No, but really don't do this. So let's start off with the first week in review. So immediately what you're going to see here is that we took a beating on Tesla. That did not perform to how I was hoping for it to. So what happened? So I kind of touched on a lot of this in my live stream the other day. But what we had originally predicted happened for the most part. Starting on Monday, that it would be a good time to probably buy as long as you were like keeping an eye out for the market. Clearly not buying at the high, which you can kind of see here. We did. Oh well. And then on Wednesday, after they reported, it would have gone up just a little bit. And you would have walked away with the, 1% increase. What happened though, which was unexpected from the reports, was this drop. Tesla said that because of the chip shortage in the US, they're not going to be able to make new products and like take out those amazing Cybertrucks, which, I mean, first off, honestly, that's probably a good thing because those look so dumb, but also is bad for like their expansion and for their business. And when you're talking about a stock like this, which is a tech stock, that expansion is so much of it. Like, you have to be able to move forward. Later in the week, it does go up, but that's something that we can talk about later. I said that it would be a good buy for the week. You can see it right here. That was not a good buy. And that is what, in week 1, made this percentage of 9% so brutal. There really is no other way around that. Now, NXG performed pretty well. I mean, that's about what we were hoping for. It went very steadily over the course of a week. Nothing to really go home and complain about or even necessarily write about, you know. You can see a very steady increase. Exactly what we were hoping for. Exactly what we were planning to see. Abbott Tech, very similar song and dance. Slight increase. Again, what you could have hoped for. Very gradual increase at the end of that, which is around that period that we're looking at. Now, Netflix. This one also was a bit of a bummer. That price, as I'd warned, but if you take a look here at its graph, you will see that on Monday, we had 387 on that high side. It was going down. I'd recommend it against buying it as it's going down, but save argument for a week. Bought it on Monday at 387. Then at the end of it on Friday, you're looking at about break-even prices. What I said was halfway true. So you didn't see Netflix completely fold in on itself capital-wise, which is what I was saying. Now, you didn't see it have a great week either. And moving forward, that's probably more to be expected. You know, when someone loses 20%, let's not buy that stock until about 2 or 3 days afterwards, is what looking at Tesla and Netflix seems to be saying right now at the moment. Now, Tesla could have been profitable, but technicalities. Next time, I think something should be sold earlier. I'm going to release it on a community post, but overall, with what I'd recommended for in the course of only 1 week, we're down by 5%, which is not good. Now, why am I sitting here broadcasting this? Because let's review how everything went in 8 days. Because if we review the prices in 8 days, all of a sudden the total is 17.5%. What? So apparently, the course of a week for these stocks may be too short of a period of time for my predictions. And honestly, some of my predictions were a little bit more in the long run. Took Netflix a longer time than I thought to recover. I thought it would recover in a week. Does not. Takes 8 days, apparently. Who knew that? On the bright side, Netflix's stock price is now 10% up from what it originally was, and that was a huge earner in those stocks that I previously talked about buying. And I mean, that's the exact reason why you're looking at a 10% gain. I mean, that alone you can stop on. Everything else continued to go up. NXGN out of the other chart didn't increase by as much. I mean, really quick comparison here. 3.48% to 3.54%. So that wasn't that big of a change. 1 week was the right tempo for that. Everything else has increased and is looking way better. If I was you, honestly, I would sell the Netflix. You're up 10%. Heck, I would sell most of this. You're up almost 20%. If there's one thing I would be hesitant on, it would be the Tesla stock. There's one thing I would say absolutely sell. It would be the NXGN, just because nice profit. You're looking really happy with that. I mean, with a stock tech like that, yeah, perfect. Keep it. I'm not keep it. Sell it. Now, Netflix is the big gamble. Do you continue going on? Is it greedy to keep going on? What if it goes higher? I'm going to burst that bubble. Sell it. Sell it. Sell it. Take the 10% profit. There is literally no reason to be greedy right now about this. I mean, you're at 10%. What more do you want? That is breaking SPD 500. That is breaking inflation. That's breaking bonds. I mean, we're sitting pretty right now.
So that's the review. And if you want to make 17% gains in 8 days, subscribe! Alright, so that's the review. Now let's get into what's happening this week. So in the big picture for news, there is a huge supply shortage of semiconductors. I'm going to get more into that and its implications for stocks here in a little bit. Reporting this week are some major players. We have Amazon, we have Snapchat, we have Facebook on Wednesday, we have Google on Tuesday. A lot of interesting names coming out this week. So to start us off, BuzzFeed. So this is going to be unusual in two senses. First off, I'm recommending a short. To very briefly summarize a short, you profit when the stock price goes down. Second off, this is unusual because this is something that's going to profit in the long run. This is a profitability thing, less than 1 week, more in 1 month, 2 months, possibly even 3 months. Now, why? Because BuzzFeed is doing catastrophically stock-wise.
So their stock went public for the first time ever in December, and it started at $10. And you'll notice something really key here. It's now $4. Basically, BuzzFeed has not turned a profit. They're firing more and more of their workers every month. For their initial capital gain, they're hoping to get a $1.5 billion valuation. They were not able to reach anywhere near that. They reached $617 million and had a lot of the people who said that they would put up that money back out at the last second. So they walked out with only $16 million of them. These guys are going down. Very likely they could even shut down. So shorting this for a month, 2 months, 3 months, very high likelihood that you will profit from this.
Now for the second stock, we're going to do something a little bit interesting here. We're going to hop on a trend. So semiconductors internationally are down major, especially in the US though. I believe this Thursday they reported that the US had 5 days left of semiconductors in reservoirs. It is almost 5 days since that report went out. So semiconductors, if they are made, are going to sell.
Which brings us to the Taiwan Semiconductor Management Company, blah, 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 blah. These guys are the #1 producers of semiconductors in the world. So this one is more following a trend. You will notice in there that I hadn't recommended this previously because that peak that you see there is somewhere around January 14th, 13th. So that's within the last couple of weeks that it had peaked and then suddenly just crashed. So it's because this is a buy based off of current pressing issues. I do see this, though, as becoming something that we're going to need more. And honestly, when the shortage actually hits for semiconductors, I think you're going to see these semiconductor companies all of a sudden become like common name things, especially the Taiwan Semiconductor Group. I mean, they produce the most in the world. It's insane. So these guys are going to most likely go up. In the course of a week or 2 weeks is a little hard to say. I would say that between that time, though, I would reasonably expect 2 or 3% increase here. Now, of course, it did go up by 5% today, so that could mean that it is a bust or the start of a boom cycle. So when you're looking at that, keep it in mind tomorrow and be really gentle with that uptake.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, this next one is playing it really safe. Amazon is expected by all accounts to have record sales. Amazon is reporting this Thursday. I think it is entirely reasonable that between Wednesday and Thursday, you're gonna see Amazon go up by 2 or 3%. And that is an easy grab. Now, this last recommendation, like the time before, with Netflix, is by far the most uncertain for me to make. AMD. AMD is literally known as Advanced Micro Devices. They're based in the United States. They make semiconductors. They're also going to be reporting this week on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, or today, depending on when I get this out. Now, my concern comes in that it is, as of Monday, up by 9%. Generally speaking, you do not want to buy something when it's up by 9%. Now, conversely, NXPI, which is a semiconductor company, reported today, and because of how much they've sold, their stock price is way up. And that's what's giving me the confidence that AMD may go up back-to-back days this week. I will say proceed with caution. This is a little bit more risky. However, I believe that the upside here of buying it on Tuesday and then selling it on Wednesday, I'm not thinking that this is a price that will hold for a very long time. But again, keep an eye on that. Play that one out by ear. If AMD is down before the market starts, definitely shy away from it. However, I do think this is going to be a price that's going to go up. So, to summarize, we have AMD for this week. We have BuzzFeed News, which you're going to short. We have Amazon, because it is a really safe bet on this one. I mean, the pandemic's only gotten bigger. Boring, but I think we can agree that 2 or 3% gain is a nice snag. And then finally, TSMC, or the Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturer, or the Taiwanese manufacturing. Wow, that is a hard word to say. Anyways, I think that's the areas that we're going to see the most growth, but we'll see. And we'll see if we can keep this trend of upward growth in 8 days. A little mad about that. Continuing to go. Remember, it's okay to be confused, but keep learning.